Welcome back to Manga Market. Today I'm going to discuss the trap of first appearances and whether or not you are actually getting the first appearance of a character. So, when does a character actually first appear? This is a tricky question because it depends on what first appearance you're talking about. It could be whether you're talking about the first appearance of a specific character in the show, or whether or not it was the first appearance of the character or of the show itself. So on the left is the first appearance of a specific character, and then the right is another illustration of that. So how does a manga magazine work? So if you don't know, Shonen Jump, Shonen Sunday are the two big ones, and manga magazines run 15 to 20 series at once, one chapter at a time usually, and they also run advertisements for future series and other news. So that is the catch. These announcements can come out before the series starts, of course. So here's a preview ad. I believe this is called a Yokoku, and this is an advertisement for the One Piece serialization on the right side of the screen, and it is art that came out technically before One Piece itself. So this is pre One Piece art. So it also, of course, goes without saying it's super collectible, but it's important too to note it accurately. So this is an example, starting with the earliest image on the left. This is Shonen Jump 1996, issue 33, and this is believed to be the earliest advertisement for Monkey D. Luffy as a character, and it is the preview for the summer special, which is the one right here. And then the preview to here is a advertisement for the second one shot, and you can see Luffy's face right here. So this is very cool. This is the accurate timeline. This is all of 1996. This is what Luffy was doing. And then here we go. The third ad for Monkey D. Luffy, or what would be One Piece, is just here inside this issue 32 of 1997, and then issue 33. You have the preview for One Piece again. This is the fourth preview for One Piece essentially, but this is only the second preview for One Piece technically if you're counting it as a series, but it's the fourth preview if you're counting it for the character. And then technically this is still the first appearance of One Piece, chapter 1 of the serialization, and the first time Luffy appears in the story. But again, it all comes down to semantics. Technically, you could make the argument for any of these books being the first appearance of something. So again, it's a tough debate. The first preview ad is, of course, the one on the left, and then in the story is the one on the right. So it's important because basically you can break down at a granular level every comic or manga in a story like this, and it can be really confusing for collectors. So, of course, I just rehashed that. And this happens in American comics too. The biggest one I've noticed is the Hulk 180 and 181 issue here. And so on the left, people argue that Wolverine appeared, but it was just his preview advertisement. He doesn't actually make a full appearance until the one on the right, and of course you see him on the cover. So it was the first cover appearance and first actual appearance, which is, of course, this is way more expensive. I believe this one's still like thousands of dollars in good condition. This one, I'm not too sure, but it's less. It's maybe low thousands, high hundreds. Alrighty, that's a good example. This is important because a lot of times the media picks up on only, I guess, like the main serialization chapter. So everybody knows what One Piece's chapter 1 looks like, and of course that's when it gets hype on social media. But it's important to do your research because as a collector myself, like if you want to get good deals, you can dive deeper into searching like what are the origins of the stories, like learning about learning about how the manga magazine works can give you hints on how to maybe get a cool collection and expand your horizons in terms of your collection. So your first print is not going to always equal your first in story, so make sure to check the issue and make sure to read your manga guys. Sometimes it's cool to just leave them on my shelf. I have a bunch on my shelf, but sometimes doing some research and looking through and using Google Images and search, Google Lens, that's a really useful tool. And yeah, that's it. So do a series. Let's dive into the origins. Thank you.